Hello. Because this stream's a little bit different, I wanted to maybe still have some music playing in the background, so I'm switching to just a, sort of a chill playlist. If it's too quiet, then just let me know, but it's sort of gonna just be a little background, for when I'm not necessarily talking constantly. Um, so, hello. A little bit of housekeeping for this stream. I forgot to mention in the last stream, thank you Rose Blossom Crab for following. And as far as what we're doing today, we have, no, it would be on this, here we go. So here we've got our very, very large Minesweeper board. I haven't started anything at all yet, but because there were votes for both this and the calendar, I did want to go over the whole calendar thing a little bit before we hop right into Minesweeper. So I've got a little comparison document here. Actually, I'll move it over because it was in behind my head before. So here we've got, so I've designed a calendar system that uses the rotation of the planet in a more a more averaged sort of way. So here we have the end of the month February is the year's end. Pardon me, I'm just going to take a little sip of water. So because the leap day ends up being on February 29th, I chose February 28th to be the year's end single day that is not within a month. Because if you take 28 and you multiply it by 13, you get 364. And so on years where you have 365 days, you have one day, year's end, sort of floating day. And on a leap year, you have 2 days of year's end. Now, I haven't come up with names for these months yet, but if you take a look at where we are right now, see April 7th, we're actually in the 10th day of the second month by this calendar. So the nice thing about this calendar is it means if you were to use this calendar, you would always know that my streams are on a multiple of 7 days. So for example, my last stream was right here, 3 days ago, on the 7th of the second month, which was April 4th by this accepted calendar. But it really simplifies things because every day of the week, like every Monday, is the 1st, or the 8th, or the 15th, or the 22nd for the entirety of this year. Or sorry, yeah. Now this will change as the year rolls over because of the year's end, because in order to keep with the sort of translatability between this calendar and the existing calendar, the year's end, despite not being part of a month, will still be a day of the week. Ideally, it would just be outside of the week, but because we're trying to keep with a existing calendar, that means that in the coming year, this would be a Tuesday. And then all the streams would be on the 6th and the 13th and 20th, etc. So that's just sort of a little thing that I wanted to share with everyone, that I was sort of improving the calendar system, and I've labeled each month by, so the top row is the corresponding date on the regular calendar, and then the bottom row is just 1 to 28 to showcase the difference between the two. And so here we see March here, and then April starts here, and then May starts here, and then obviously because these months are not 28 days, so they sort of bleed into each other, and depending on whether it's 30 or 31, they sort of jump down the diagonal a little bit here. And then January is actually, because of where it is, it lies within 3 months of this calendar, and because of the fact that February is 28 days, and we're having 27 of them be part of this last month here, because the 28th day is this year's end celebration here. So that's just a little sort of overview of my calendar idea. If I were to implement it in my scheduling, I will have a translation of the current calendar equivalent. I won't be expecting anyone to memorize this in any way, but I thought it was just a nice thing that I could show off a little bit. And now we can just hop right into the Minesweeper. I'm going to just boost up the volume on the playlist just a tiny bit. And I'm just going to get started here. I'm just going to, generally I'll just zoom in a fair bit to get to a point where I can decently parse the squares with my mortal eyes, and then just kind of get started just like that. Start with the easy corners. And I don't think I'm practiced enough yet with this to be able to beat it on this stream. The goal that I'm setting for myself for this stream is to get to the point where the mines start to count down, because if you notice the counter says 999, that's because the counter is not created to, oh dear, I've already messed up. The counter was not created to accommodate such large games. The original Windows version of Minesweeper, I believe, had the maximum size of this 16 by 30 here. So obviously 16 by 30, it would never have, I think it said 99 mines? Yeah, it would never have more than 100 mines, so this, I believe, it might even have been adapted from the counter here to be 3 digits, because it might have only been 2 digits on the original Windows version. But, so basically my goal for this stream, functionally, is to get to halfway through the flags. Because once we get, because we're at 2,000 mines, and this says 999, so once we get past 1,000, that will start counting down, which is the goal for this stream. And so generally we're just going to kind of have some chill music on in the background, and mostly just Minecraft and some chats, whatever, if anyone has any questions or any interesting tidbits they want to bring up, please do. I am open to questions and fun little facts and all that. I'm definitely probably not going to do as well as I normally do, just because having to talk while doing this does change the way that the brain operates just a tad. So I will either have to periodically become quieter or just make more mistakes. Well, actually, this this vessel runs quite warm a lot of the time. So I don't quite know how to answer that question. Oh dear. We're not making great progress on this whole getting to the first 1,000 mines. Well, you see, the very existence of an extra-dimensional being inspires awe, and so it's sort of just a natural consequence of being an elder cosmic being that I inspire awe in the mortal mind. Okay, let me just turn it down just a tad. Is that all right? I'm just using Twitch soundtrack, so I don't have direct control over the amplitude levels of the different songs. I just thought it might be better to have, oh my, 6. That's a big number. By the standards of this game, at least. Because the largest number that can possibly exist in this game is 8. So that means only one of these is not a mine. This is 2, this is 2. So that means these are all mines. That means we can kind of clear it around it, which is quite nice. That is sort of a nice little gift to be able to sort of cut out that many mines all in one little spot. Because if they were even 1 or 2 spaces apart instead of being all surrounding the same square, then there'd be like 3s and 4s all over there, and it would be a lot more tedious to get rid of them. I do try to play very very safe, a lot of middle clicking on things to make sure that I'm counting right. For those of you just joining us, hello, welcome. The goal of today's stream is to try and get this counter to start counting down, which means we'll have to reach the halfway point in mines, and we're not quite there yet, as you can see. But yes, if you have any chat topics or questions, or I have actually removed the no backseating tag for this stream, just in case we have any professional Minesweeper players in the chat who may wish to bestow their wisdom. Trying not to take too many risks. That doesn't feel like it really zoomed it in at all. Perhaps I should turn off the night mode. It does sort of make it a bit harder to see. Display. Oh yes, that's so much easier to see. See everything in brilliant color now. Sometimes the larger numbers can be a bit of a double-edged sword. Oh dear. Something just fell off of the desk. It's all right. We're good. We're all good. Just need to. There's It'll be fine. We can deal with that later. I think I need to reset my settings here. It has completely lost tracking on me. Hello? I might have to reset my avatar here. Let me just take that off the screen there. I might have to just Hello? I don't know what's going on here. It has completely... Oh, there we go. It had completely lost me for a moment there. So let's get back to it. Okay. Sorry about that little hiccup there. Back to the number game. It was a little bit disconcerting there with just the mouth and nothing else moving. It's not the way you usually expect a human body to move. We are making slow progress, but not the most incredible amount. That's alright though, we'll make it. We will eventually reach the point we are trying to get. And that may not be today, but we can hope that we will reach the end. This is, trying to keep eyes so wide is very stressful on the mortal frame. If at any point in the stream you want to see me zoom out and sort of see where we're at, you can just ask for a progress check in the chat, and I will do a little zoom out and show sort of where we're at on this right now. There are sometimes points where you do just have to guess. However, if there are some situations where it seems you have to guess, but you don't. But you would have to leave those situations until the end of the game. For example, if you have a little bit in a corner somewhere, and you don't know which it is or how many mines are in there, you can wait until you only have a limited number of flags left, and then it will tell you how many mines at least are in that corner. For example, if you have a corner that is surrounded by mines. A lot of times the first guess is just a guess. There's really no way to tell from the very start what's a safe move. Yes, Minesweeper, hello. It is true that the first move is entirely a guess. There's no way to get around that in Minesweeper. And so, it is possible to just lose on the first move. And it has happened even on this size of a board. With, what is it, almost 10,000 squares. And, I mean, 20% of those are mines, so it's not quite, I mean, 99 by 99 is what, like, yeah, 9801. But then if you divide that by 2,000, 1 in every 4.9 squares is a mine, so yeah, it is, even at this size, it is possible to just lose on the first click. And at that point, you basically just call it a mulligan. It's, there's nothing you could have done at that point. Starting to run out of easy clicks. It'd be nice if we could get to a corner or a wall in general, because that's a dimension in which we know we don't have to move anymore. But then at the same time, a wall can also be quite unfortunate, because you could hit a wall and then that's the only direction you had to move in. I'll just scroll down to this area here for now. Maybe 2, 3, 1. Trying to keep my field of vision sort of closer to the center of the screen to not cause any more avatar shenanigans like happened earlier. Oh my, we're starting to reach, it's one of those things where sometimes you can just start in an area that has very few ways out. Well, we are still not at somewhere that puts us under 999, so we can do a little progress check, see how far we've gotten so far. That's actually a little further than I thought we were. See, we're about, I can call that 10% of the board, I think. So that's not too bad. It's kind of nice that it started us in a place that allowed us to branch out into the middle, just because while walls can be nice, they can also be harmful to your play. And as I'm zooming in again here, I'm actually seeing something I can go for here, this one right here, which is always nice, seeing a little bit of a new direction we can go. If we get lucky, it'll open up a big not quite, but sometimes you can get lucky and open up just a really big area that's just tangentially connected to what you're working on, which is always nice. Just a little, it's a little present from the RNG. And it's 99 by 99 squares, and there are 2,000 mines on it. So we have every 1 in 4.9 squares is a mine. And we've actually saturated the board so much that the mine counter doesn't go down until you reach the halfway point. So that's the goal of today's stream, is to not necessarily finish the board. If we can finish the board, that would be wonderful. That would be an accomplishment, an achievement, you know, just a very nice way to spend a day. Just kind of a triumph, a small victory in a world where small victories are very important. But if we don't, I would like to reach the point where we can... I was almost going to flag that. It's a good thing I didn't. I would like to get to the point where we can have the counter start counting down. So the halfway point. I've been doing a bit of off-stream training just to sort of really cement the common strategies into my mind. It is still quite odd getting used to the limitations of a mortal mind. There's only so much I can do in this form, and it's all new to me, so I'm sort of relearning how to think and how to succeed, how to exist again, almost, as a totally new existence. But as my power grows, as people believe in me and spread, you know, the word of love, and I may be able to gain back a fraction of my power in a mortal form. However, as things stand right now, this body is not built to accommodate that kind of energy, that kind of cosmic energy. So I have to, even just inhabiting this body, see there's a little bonus area there that we got. Even just inhabiting this body places a lot of strain on it. Yeah, if you middle click on the numbers, it shows you anything that could be a mine around it. So for example here, it shows me that these three are the ones that could be those three mines, which obviously means that they are, because that's those three together there. Yeah, so if you middle click on a number and it has the right amount of flags next to it, it will automatically reveal all the other squares around it. It's very useful for when you know, or when you have reasonable certainty that you've placed your flags correctly, to just sort of avoid some excessive clicking. Yeah, of course. this one only has 4 around it, so it must be there. 2, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2. I hope the music isn't in any way overbearing or overstimulating to just have on as background noise. It's kind of just a nice way to fill the silence when I'm trying to concentrate or trying to articulate a thought. We're doing alright up in this corner here. It's quite nice. These go here, because 4. And then 3. So that's 3 now. Nope, not there, that one. That could have been cataclysmic. 1, 1, 1, 2, 3. So how's everyone's day going today? Is everyone having a nice little Wednesday? Just a little midweek reprieve. Well, I'm happy to hear that. That's 3 now. That's still 2. 3. Okay, we're a little stuck there for the moment. Just a tad. The nice thing about Minesweeper is the way that it, you have things to work on every side. If you're struggling with an area, like this area over here, I can just move over here and sort of get a new perspective and a new little, it's almost like a separate puzzle once you've switched to the opposite side of the map, which I think is very nice. It's, because it's easy to sort of get discouraged if you just sort of look at the same area and just, click the same things over and over again. I am starting to reach the point where I may have to stop talking for a bit and really focus in on a couple sections, but we are still in a position to make some progress, so we can't give up yet. One of those is a 9. This is the time where I really expected the music to sort of pull its weight, is when I'm locked in battle with the numbers on the board. Still a fan of that little 6 there, that's very nice. And then a lot of these larger numbers of mines, it's obviously not a good idea to guess. Like if I just clicked one of these, 2 out of 3 of them are mines, so I'm fighting against the odds if I try to do that. But a lot of the times you'll get to the point where you have one more blank square than the number of mines you know are there, and it's It's one of those situations where, like for example here, I know I have 3, here I know I have 4, here I have 2, and then I have one of these 3. But it's more annoying where like here I have 6 and then 5 mines. Oh, actually, because that's 3. No, I can do that. And sometimes just doing that, just going over and just sort of looking at the same thing and then counting it out in a different way can show you additional possibilities and sort of reveal. These flat lines are almost the worst because if you have a flat line and it has 3 on it, then you know you can say all 3 of those. Like for example, if this was a 3, I could say all 3 of those are mines and just move on. But because they're all 1s and 2s, I can't do that. I have to somehow curl one of these corners around to the point where I can sort of access a corner, an outward facing corner is a really, like I don't have any of them right now to even point out, but an outward facing corner is really good because generally it just has a 1 there, and then you can just say, oh, this is definitely a mine. And then that just moves on its own from there. And then, for example, this one, this is a 3 on a wall, but there's a mine here, which means it's just as useless as a 2 on a wall alone. And so that's sort of what my, oh, I guess I can do this. That's sort of what my training has been aiming to sort of cement is the sort of the tried and true mathematical solutions to different shapes in Minesweeper. And like for example, I know this is there because it's a 3 on a corner with an extra. And then like for example this 2, I knew these 2 were mines because this one was open and this one had only these 2 next to it. It's just shapes that you become familiar with over the course of practice, which is why I decided to practice before attempting this on stream. I guess these are all good too. Oh, that's a little bit of progress. It's nice to see. It's nice to see a little bit of progress after a little bit of a drought. You know. Thank you all for coming out and hanging out with me today. I know this probably isn't the most riveting gameplay. I mean, it's not action-packed, it's not character-driven, really, but I thought it would be nice to just kind of do a little pop-up stream, just kind of come and hang out. That's sweet. Yeah, I wanted to just, it's sort of just an opportunity to chat and also sort of keep my brain at a certain level of thank you. I'm sure the Minesweeper appreciates it. Chill beats to relax and play Minesweeper too. So we're making a little progress here on the left, which is very nice. See, now we've got these open corners, like this open corner with a 1 next to it. Obviously, it means that that's where the mine is. And the same goes for, actually, now all 3 of these ones tell you that this is a mine. And then because there's only 1 left here, this has to be here for a 2. This 2 is these 2, this 2 is this one and this one. Oh, that's a 6. We've got another 6, everyone. And then a 5 right next to it, which means that's just 7 free mines right there. I don't believe we're at the point where we've started counting yet. no, we're still a ways off from that, I think. You'd have to count every flag on screen to know how many I've placed. It obviously doesn't tell me because we've got that whole situation with the 2,000 mines. It's sort of like if I were to liken it to something much more action-packed, like sort of like in the first Pacific Rim when they first discover the new class of kaiju, and they have no measurement scale for it, right? So it's sort of like that, where they have no measurement scale for the amount of mines that are in this field. So, I mean, obviously it's kind of a random anecdote, or metaphor, simile, whatever you would want to call it. I'm a little too focused on the game right now to remember those kinds of distinctions at the moment. 4. So I was about to put 2 there, and then I realized that one was there. But yeah, a lot of times these walls are very... So if we work around here, we might be able to get something down here. Oh, actually, this one right here. We might be able to finally sort of move in this direction and get rid of this straight line here, which would be quite nice. Wow, it's already been almost 40 minutes since I started playing Minesweeper. The timer, I believe, is already, yeah, it's already capped out at $9.99. It does tell you at the end, if you finish it, what your time is in minutes and seconds. So if we do manage to complete this map today, it'll tell us how long it took. Because I did a little bit of, before the stream I was playing a little bit of music, and I did a little bit of sort of introductory calendar lore before we hopped into Minesweeper. So my live time doesn't accurately represent how much time I've actually been playing Minesweeper precisely. So yeah, we have to take that into account when we think about how long it has been. Sometimes I get the middle click and the right click mixed up because I just do them so much. And then I'll just end up like right clicking on a number and go, why doesn't it work? It's because that's not what it does. It doesn't do anything on an exposed number. It only plants the flags. It only plants those flags. And if you middle click on these, I mean, it does what it's supposed to, obviously. But if you middle click on these, it just goes like this. It just goes, no, that's not right. Well, I guess we're looping around to this area of, as opposed to the opposite area down there that I was thinking we might loop over to. Maybe we'll have to get over here to get down there. It all depends on how the mines sort of guide us around. It's sort of like a dance between the numbers and the... Seems like my avatar's rolled off to the side a little bit. Let's go, yeah, there, that's right. It seems like the tracking with where the camera is positioned is not optimal. I'm planning on making a new desk soon, so that I can place, first of all, the screen, the display that I'm playing on right now is actually a couple inches higher than I would like it. So I would like to make my own desk with materials that I have around to sort of mitigate some of the issues. For example, the screen that I have down here that has the chat and everything on it, the difference in height between it and the screen that is above it is good, but I need to move the screen that is above it down, which would make it what's the word, obscure part of the top screen with the bottom screen, which is slightly in front. So then I need to lower both, essentially. And also it would be a good idea to lower where my mouse and keyboard are, just a tad, to avoid wrist strain, because I've definitely been noticing it a bit when I play mouse and keyboard games, and it's always better to fix the cause as opposed to cure the symptoms. So in the meanwhile, I have been, doing wrist exercises to sort of mitigate any potential damage, but the end goal is to just completely make a new desk, not from scratch, from well, I guess it can still be from scratch if it's a design based on this design, but currently what I have is some discarded desks from student housing. When people move out, a lot of the times they'll just leave a lot of their furniture there, and the landlord generally doesn't mind as long as the furniture is in good enough condition that the next tenant can use it. So I've collected a couple of those in my time out and about, and I'm trying to, I've basically got 3 desks sort of cuddled all up next to each other in a sort of what's that word, like a facade of a longer desk with a little bit of corner space. But the desks aren't all the same height, and there's other issues based on materials and where the legs lie. So the general shape and size is good, but the height and material differences sort of make it a little bit of a pain, both metaphorically and literally. That's one of the things I love about spoken language, is that something can be metaphorical and also literal. Oh no, that's 6 still. That's fine. Like the idea of a double meaning doesn't really exist in, cosmic thought-based communication, because you're literally communicating your intention directly to the target, which means there's really no room for that kind of nuance. And that's one of the reasons that I've grown so fond of words and language and all that. It's quite a wonderful way to express concepts and emotions. And I'm going to just pull this over because I realize I didn't mean to do that. I was trying to hit the bar. I was trying to scroll the Damn, darn, and heck. Well, there goes 45 minutes of work. Back to the beginning. There is an undo button, but now that I've seen where the mines are, it's not really fair to continue in that same map. Like it's not really real. It's not really a real thing anymore once you've... Yeah. That's very unfortunate. I guess I'll have to just be much more careful with the scroll bar going forward. And now we're in a spot that's just very, very unfortunate. This is not giving me a lot to work with. I'm going to zoom in just one more tick. And very carefully and slowly. I think it's because it's lagging the page just because of how large the puzzle is. Because if you notice when I zoom in and out, it takes a second to sort of catch up. So it sort of... there's a little bit of a delay on it. Now that must have been what must have been what got me. I'm just gonna try to, yeah, no, that's, unfortunately sometimes you just have to reset and see what you can get the next time. Like this is not great. This is not a great seed to have started on. But if I can make it work, I will make it work. No, not that one, this one. That's unfortunate. Okay, this is giving us a little bit to work with. Hopefully that didn't jinx it by just saying that. Yeah, the idea of jinxing something is also, interesting because the concept of the concept of having an intent that is powerful and arcane to what you say, even if that wasn't intended, is sort of also interesting to explore. The idea that that words have power, and that by simply speaking something into existence, you give it some of your energy and you make it manifest. It's a very wonderful little concept, I think. Oh dear. Nope, I'm good at that size. I will admit that was a bit disheartening. I'm trying to stay determined. I definitely didn't expect the first board of the stream to go so long. That's definitely, it's definitely quite nice that we were able to get so far on the first board of the day with no sort of warm-up or anything of the sort. That's kind of nice. It's kind of, a silver lining. It is sometimes hard to stay determined after failure, but if we don't get back up, we'll never get the timer to count down. And that's what we're here for, is to get the timer to count down. And this board is not being kind to me. Dear heck and darn. Oh, there's one. Literally, there's one. Huh. See? you can just impart meaning on things that you never even meant to, and something new is created, and that's just wonderful. That's a lot of threes all in one place. And a lot of fours right there. Actually, 1, 2, 4. Look at that line of flags there. Quite neat and organized. This is a little bit of a little problem. I'll have to go back if we don't make it any further and grab an image of that that one there for posterity, for the stream progress. If we don't make it any further than that by the end of the stream. I would at one point like to do a stream where I don't stop until I finish the board, but unfortunately today is not going to work for that. I might do it at some point as some sort of charity or fundraiser sort of stream. But unfortunately the scheduling for today won't quite allow that. But then again, if we manage to finish a board today, then that's not much of a fundraiser, is it? If I were a different type of character, I might lose on purpose in order to keep that idea for later, but no, I will try with all of my might until either we succeed or the stream ends. I'm just going to do a quick wrist stretch. Oh, and a little sip of water. This is a tough shell to crack. There's 2 already next to it. I'm almost tempted to just guess off to the side somewhere, but that's got a non-trivial chance of just immediately ending this board. So Rather not unless I absolutely have to. Two there, two, four. It's got three around it already. There's that, and that. I'm going to very carefully use the scroll bar. Wait a minute, that's impossible because that now has 4 there. Oh, that's why. That's not. That's a 2, that's a 2, so yeah, that's actually not a mine. Glad I caught that. That could have been dangerous later on, or actually right about now, when trying to break through this little area here. Oh, we found a 6 again. And we know that one of these 3 here is not a mine, and the rest all are. So that's a bit of a danger area right now, just right this moment. Only one of these 3 is, though. So if it's either of those 2, we would figure out 6 by process of elimination. Yeah, this one feels a lot more like an uphill battle than the last one. It really does feel like the difficulty increase. Though obviously difficulty only comes from the random generation, so there's only so much that this mortal brain can do. Only one of those 4 is a mine, and that's sort of, it's frustrating that I can't do anything to that. And only one of these 3. Getting to the point where guessing seems more and more attractive. Because, I mean, we're not even that far into this one, so it's not a huge loss if we do guess and fail, I mean, suppose. Where are we? Where do you see? What do your shadow eyes see? This here? But what does that let me do? This? Oh, there's 3 here. Oh, thank you. Oh, and there's a 5 and a 4. Not easy to get through these big numbers. It's much easier to sort of skate around them, but when you have to push through them to get to anything new, then it suddenly becomes a lot more trying. So it's got a 50-50 chance. It's 33. Yes, unfortunately we had a misclick happen when I was trying to move the bottom scroll bar, and it happened to click directly onto a mine. So now we are back to the beginning. Well, this much progress from the beginning, but yes, it was very unfortunate, heartbreaking, but I'm trying my best to stay strong. Center of top. Center of top. Two above the 5, but what does that let me do? It doesn't, because there's 2 here. So I've already got 4 flags around it. But how do you know that? Oh, because it has to be one of these 2. Oh, I get what you mean. Yes, I understand now. Yeah, okay, right. Thank you. That's one of those techniques that I sometimes forget about. Is the other ones that I guess the more. Sorry, I just need to adjust for a moment. The more visually guided, I guess, as opposed to mathematically guided strategies are the ones that I remember a lot more. So, okay. Still a tad sleepy. Oh dear. I'm getting a phone call. I'm going to have to mute the stream for just a moment. Sorry about that. Okay, sorry about that. I am going to be getting a call back from them in just a second. It was a related to medical form stuff that I'm going to have to get filled out. So I'm going to get a call back from them in a couple minutes, but for the time being we can try to hop back into this, find something somewhere maybe. Well, if 2 of these have to be mines, that means at least 1 of these does, so that this is not a mine. That's so satisfying. It's so satisfying to like look at something that's like, oh, you can't solve me, and then I go, oh, actually I can solve you. And then it goes, no. And that's the sound of it like fading away when I click click on the thing. So I guess I can actually use that in a lot of situations, like right here. I know that 1 of these 2 has to be a mine, so this one can't be, right? I feel like it's sort of a dangerous thing to use, though, for me personally, because I'm going to get too overzealous in using it. And then I'll just use it in a spot that it totally doesn't work. So I think that's one of the reasons that I never really super committed to using it, is because it takes a little more mental arithmetic to sort of get through to that point. Though it is true that it is a very useful, maybe I should sort of just save it as a contingency measure for getting into these sorts of situations where I feel like I can't do anything. I think it's obviously super cool and great to use if you use it properly, but I think, yeah, it's dangerous in the sense that, like, it's a very powerful move, and there's nothing you can really do to prepare for it. Like, you're just clicking on a blank square, you're just going for it, and I think there's like an inherent sort of danger in that, to just go for it. Also, I'm pretty sure just go for it is what they say at the beginning of every level in Beautiful Joe. I just had a very vivid sound clip play back in my head of like a female announcer voice saying, just go for it. Maybe I could play Beautiful Joe on stream at some point. I'm not very good at it. It's one of those games that I've never entirely been great at, but it's fun in a silly way. I do really like the obviously the Henshin hero archetype is always cool. Oh, I pressed the wrong button there, and that could have been terrible. If it was a left click, it would have just ended the game, because I knew that was a mine. But yeah, I'm a big fan of the Henshin hero archetype, and Kamen Rider, and Sentai, and all that. We have not made much progress yet on this level. I wonder if anyone's ever made Minesweeper with, like, levels. Like, you have to beat a smaller one, and then you get to progressively larger and more mines and some kind of, I don't know, power-ups or something. Oh, that's 5. 3. Yeah, there must be like a riveting story, right? It's gotta be. 4. It just scrolled. I clicked the middle mouse wheel and it just scrolled instead. Luckily, middle mouse is not as dangerous as left click. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Two, 3. Is it time to use the forbidden technique again? What if? What if I'm changed irreparably by this forbidden technique? What if I become an anime protagonist? Yeah, the forbidden technique that Vorox and I were talking about, where you can, like for example, this one has these 2 that could be a mine, and this one has these 3 that could be a mine. So that doesn't work there. But for example, if I can find one where it applies. So here, these 3 could be a mine. And then I've got 2 here, which means 3 of these have to be a mine. But we know only one of them can be in these 2, or these 3 here, because this one already has 2 around it, so I can say this for sure. Right? Which tells me that this one that's next to this one is one of these 2. And that also means that this one's safe, because the one that goes with this one also has to be the one that goes with this one. So I was able to reveal this mathematically by systematically eliminating all impossible situations, or all impossible permutations from this area here. But it's dangerous because it involves clicking directly on a blank square that you don't have a flag or anything on. Whereas, you know, the way I've mostly been playing is much more just using the middle click, which is a lot safer to sort of yeah, it's got some danger to it. So the temple masters at the Minesweeper temple called this a forbidden technique. I guess I could also say, because 1, 2, 3, 4, one of these 2, so not this one. Oh. Yeah, there's some intricacies that, like, if you just sort of hop into Minesweeper, you might not necessarily get. I don't remember where I actually learned all about the really weird and specific Minesweeper stuff. Oh, that's I can just do that. That's nice. Two, two, one, 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 two, 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 one, one, one. Every small victory is still a victory. You can quote me on that. One of these two... it doesn't quite work when they're that far away. They have to sort of be next to each other in order for it to sort of eliminate as many possibilities as possible. I mean, I'm sure you can still do it in that situation, or where was it, this situation over here, but it might not lead to as much progress. So one of these two for sure. If it's this one, then those ones are fine over here. But if it's not, then these ones, and then it's this one. So it's either this one and this one, or just this one. And at this point, we have no idea of telling which, I think, because we don't know, we don't have enough numbers to narrow that down. And each of these has two. Well, one of these two has to be a mine because of this. So that means that these ones should all be safe. I know I just literally went through and said why that was true, but at the same time I felt great fear doing that. Like, it's like if, it's like when you give a presentation and you're nervous because even though you've checked all of your work like 1,000 times and you know it's all right, the moment you say it, you're feeling like someone could say, no, that's wrong, and then you're a fool. Right? Like, it's either these two, that one. So, where's the Patreon? Where's the Patreon for this Minesweeper RPG? Because I am sold. I'm getting too into the lore, and now I'm losing track of where I was working here. So two of those, but one of those. So definitely that one. Right? Yeah. Yes, let me just think about that. Two of those, but only one of those. Yeah, that makes sense in my mortal brain. One thing they don't tell you about placing your essence in a human vessel, it gives you anxiety. Oh no, no need to apologize. It's quite fun. I love having little conversations and tangents and all that. But yeah, like when you're an entity of stardust and sand and space, you don't. Anxiety isn't really a thing, but like now, it's like anxiety is a thing. It's a thing that I have to like deal with, and this is new to me. Mortals have so much that they worry about. Ba, 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 ba. Is the I was gonna say, is the music still playing? But it's just one of those really atmospheric songs that starts out slow. It is. I injured my vessel yesterday by stepping on a piece of broken glass, and now I'm going to have to wait days for it to heal. And now I'm aware of the concept of linear time. So days actually means something. It's just terrible. I need it to be one of these, and then two of these. So that doesn't help me. Oh, that doesn't help me. One of those. And one overlap. The best way to use that technique is when the overlap is one of the areas overlaps entirely with the other, but not to the point that they're mutually exclusive. Yeah, there's only so much you can do in a human suit. But yeah, like for example, this one, I know that I need one of those two from both of these. But if one of these said I needed one of these, and then the other one said I need just this one, then that would help. But it doesn't help because it's being a butt, and I don't like it. So like I need one of these three and one of these four. But that doesn't actually solve anything. And the same with like one of these three or one of these three, one of these two and one of these four, or two of these four. So I need two of these and only one of these, which means that one doesn't work. In theory. Okay, this might help because I need one of these two and one of these three, which means not this one. That kind of helps. Kind of a little bit. This one's very slow going. I'm just going to check something. So, yeah, we're just gonna you know, give it a little more try. This 3? Oh, you're absolutely right. Oh, I'm getting that call back. One more moment, please. Alright, so that's all dealt with now. We can return to this. That's just some stuff I'm going to have to deal with tomorrow. Just some forms and all that. While I was on the phone, I actually saw something here, but I can't see it again now. Was it this? It might have just been this. But I thought it was something where I had already been making progress, but I can't at this exact moment recall. Oh, that's a nice little present for us. And I don't believe we've gotten to the point where we, yeah, no, we're still at, we'll do a little progress check while we have stuff zoomed out. It's not a terrible amount of progress. I mean, I think, just by looking at the numbers, I think a lot of the mines were centered where we started this time, because we started like right here in the middle. So I think, despite the size of it, we have made some decent progress, especially with all those large numbers. which is nice. Very carefully. But yeah, like, see these areas that have a lot of ones, you feel like you're making a lot of progress because you're opening up squares, but that just means that the mines are condensed somewhere else. And so it can be a blessing and a curse. I think the best seeds for the border are the ones that have, you know, a lot of 2s and 3s. Because the more ones you have now, the more 5s and 6s you might have later. And perhaps even a 7. I've yet to see a 7 in my training, but I know it's obviously possible, and I've definitely never seen an 8. But we could maybe one day find the elusive 8. It's entirely possible. See, now I'm at the point where I do have to turn my head off to the side because we're getting close to the edge of the board, which means I can't scroll the... Oh, why did I do that? Oh, dear. Okay. Okay. This is fine. We did alright. We didn't do as well as the last one, but we did alright. I think I'm going to have to call it after one more where we get decently far, just because it's quite taxing to well, there's a combination of luck and math that can get you the... Just give me something good, please. There's a combination of math and luck that can get you the 8, where if you have 8 flags left, and you have a square of 3 by 3 that you know has mines all around the outside, you can safely click the middle. Oh, I don't know why I even did that. But yeah, you can safely click. Maybe I can... No, it won't let me middle click to pan on a board square. You can safely uncover an 8, but you have to get a board that spawns that way with that seed that has the 8 in it. So it can be done in a calculated manner, but also there is a luck element to it. And I'm not entirely aware how to calculate the probability of getting an 8 in a Minesweeper board, based on the size of the board and the number of mines. I mean, we know that 1 in every 4.9 squares is a mine. So is it 4.9 to the exponent 8 times like times 1 over 4.9? I guess that's true. It is an old game. It might not have a totally random system, and also it might be designed to prevent certain situations. Like it might be impossible to get an 8. Though, back when this was created, I'm not sure that they had super duper thought about that. That's true as well, yeah, it might be different between versions. Honestly, I am just flabbergasted that I have been sitting at like a consistent 7 viewers throughout this whole stream. You guys are the best. You're all the best, and I don't know what else to say. You're the best, and that's great, and I love you all. Dang, that's a lot. Like, that's a lot of permutations that you'd have to go through to guarantee an 8. See, I was planning to raid Joy after this stream, but I have been informed by... Well, I mean, the closer you get to infinity, the more you get towards the actual probability, the theoretical probability. So you'd have to go through, like, I mean, you'd have to go through 1,000 permutations just to get a theoretical 11, right? But if you go through 1,000 permutations, you're likely to get maybe a theoretical 3 to 20, somewhere around there. Or an actual 3 to 20, not theoretical. Because the theoretical value stays the same. That's how probability works. But actual observed value is based on actually going through permutations. So I believe you have to go to, like, you have to go to some larger significant digit of trials than the base to be able to get the sort of, they call it, like, the almost guarantee. Where the actual result is closer to the probability theoretical result. So, like, obviously you can flip a coin 3 times and get heads every time. I did it again. Oh, that's just for expert. Yeah, we don't know for this. I need something that has corners. Game, please. This is just rude. But yeah, like, the amount of permutations... Look at this. Look at what the game is doing to me right now. Look at what the game is doing to me right now. I am livid. There we go. Oh my god. By the gods, old and new. That was perhaps the luckiest and least lucky I have ever been in this game. It depends on the... Oh god, why did I... What? It depends on the actual probability. Like, the lower the probability, the larger number of permutations you have to do to reach it. Because you're going to more significant digits, and now it's doing it again. So, like, for 1%, you can do something 100 times, and you almost certainly will not get 100, or the thing once. You might get it 0 times, you might get it, you know, as many as like 4 or 5. But as you go closer to, so if you do 1,000, I don't remember the actual precise math. I think because of the elements of randomness, it's not an entirely precise math, but it is true that as you increase your trials or your permutations of the situation or the equation or whatever, you will approach the theoretical possibility, the theoretical probability, and basically it's set up as a limit as opposed to a concrete. I'm getting way too into this whole limits and probability thing, and I'm just making very, very, very amateur mistakes. But yeah, as the limit approaches infinity, the actual results approach the theoretical probability. And they approach in, I believe, in a I don't know if this happens in all cases, but I believe it approaches in a fluctuating manner where it will change between being more than the theoretical probability and less than the theoretical probability, but I don't think it's periodic. So it's not like sinusoidal or anything like that. It's just, this is a terrible seed, and I don't like it. It fluctuates between positive and negative difference, but not in a repeatable pattern because of the, chaos theory and stuff like that. You can't make probability behave, basically. I'm really not vibing with this board. That's what they say, right? They say vibing. That's what the mortal children say. They are simply vibrating in tune with the universe. I think I'm gonna have to make this the last game. I'm just, which two? Which two? I don't see which one you're... Huh? This one? Oh, is it one of these ones up here? Yeah, you're absolutely right. It is... That is not a mine. No, wait, it must be. Hold on. This is definitely 3. And this is definitely 2. So that's not a mine. Okay. Crisis averted. I almost made an amateur mistake again. Thank you to my eternal friend for that. What is this? Is this some Hatsune Miku wannabe? Oh, this is explicit, so I'm just gonna skip it. I wish there was like a filter for that. But at least in this, playlist there is not any sort of... This was the first explicit thing, but... The first explicit song in the playlist, but there's no exclude explicit songs option. Not that I have a problem with being explicit, I just think it sort of goes against the idea of the chill Minesweeper atmosphere. So, I didn't really discuss this previously, but the reason I decided to go with Minesweeper instead of More Chibi Robo today is because I kind of want the scheduled Sunday streams to be the long-form series day, and when I have these opportunities for a different kind of stream, I want to sort of be able to branch out a bit, do something different, not always a game, like sometimes we can just chat or do, maybe at some point we can do a, like a drawful or something like that, something where we can participate together. But yeah, I sort of wanted to differentiate it from the streams that I will be doing every week, where I do the more long form series and sort of spice it up a little bit. I want to try to get to the point where I can have more than one scheduled weekly stream, and then we'll have a definite long form series stream, and then a definite do something else, maybe just something casual or just audience participation something stream. As my current schedule stands, that will not be possible just yet, but we will play that by ear and see where we can sort of try to slot something in later. But yeah, I'm hoping everyone likes this sort of different stream, and no one's particularly upset that we're not playing Chibi Robo today. I would like to sort of foster an environment where if I'm doing something that people don't really have any interest in, they can feel free to voice that, and I don't want to I don't want to be too overbearing. I will be doing, the only things I'll be putting up as options are things that I want to do. I'm not saying, decide all the things that I will do. It's more of a, if I'm doing something that nobody really cares about, then they should feel free to say, maybe we can do something else. Maybe we can just chat or something like that. Like, I know sometimes streams can sort of feel one-sided, where the streamer is just sort of doing something, and the chat is just sort of yelling at them. There's definitely those sort of there's definitely situations as well where, yelling at the streamer is encouraged. There are those sorts of streamers and those sorts of situations, but I want to sort of, keep that chill atmosphere and that sort of comfy stuff, where we can just kind of come together and say, what do we want to do today? And that's why I set it up as a poll instead of just sort of deciding what we were going to do today. Just to sort of, keep that participation and that option. And obviously, if none of those options stand out to someone, they have then the choice not to watch, right? It's just, I want to provide the options that will have people engage with my content. And I know I haven't been great with posting the VODs lately for these streams. I think only the first one is up right now, or the second stream, because the first stream VOD got completely lost. Are you not capable of streaming with where you are right now? This song's pretty nice. Chill claps. you ever noticed those songs where people reference a specific street or something? I've always thought those were kind of there's like a feeling of exclusionism to it, you know, like if you don't know where this street is, the you're not going to get the reference. But then at the same time, when some songs do a good job of it and sort of tell you through the story of the song what kind of place that is. So like sometimes it's just like, look at me, I can be on this fancy street, like, you know. Actually, Gangnam Style is about that. It's about the Gangnam area in Seoul, or is it Seoul, or is it just in like the metropolitan area? I don't recall, but Gangnam is like a region or a I don't know if they call them prefectures in Korea, but it's a region where everyone's got the like it's the what would they call it, the like the place where all the like rich kids hang out. And well, if you wanted, we could do a collab stream sometime, and that would maybe that would be a little bit easier, like a sort of a shallow end sort of thing, as opposed to fully just diving back into streaming yourself. Oh yeah, because the way they pronounce it is a little more like it's the A in at the beginning is kind of pronounced more like a U. It's more like Gangnam. Like I'm very bad with Korean pronunciations because they use one of those tongue movements that's not present in English. And so I'm not super good at it. It's a hard sound that some of the stuff is doing. So like the I guess it's not all hard sounds, but it's I don't know, I don't remember the exact linguistic name for it, but they have a few of those like tongue movements that are not present in actually in basically most Western languages that I've encountered. Like like when they say like humbug, it's not a k though, it's a k. Like there's a different sound there, and it's sort of nuanced, but it's yeah, kind of, yeah, it has that kind of like it's very complex from like approaching it from an English perspective. But yeah, it's very interesting how different regions took on different methods of vocalizing to make their languages. Like, because for example, between like English and, I mean, English is a bad example because it has a lot of loan words and very inconsistent grammar and punctuation rules and all that. So, like for example, if you take Japanese, Japanese is a language where there are, what is it, like 20 something syllables, and those syllables are used to make every single word. But those syllables, some of them are not normally pronounceable to English speakers, like their L/R sound is neither an L nor an R from the English perspective. It's somewhere, you can actually feel if you do la and ra, you can feel where your tongue is, but if you do ra, it's sort of in the middle of the two. Um, and it's interesting because Japan had a lot of interaction with China in the past, and China does have an L sound. Like the word ramen comes from la meng, which is a Chinese word for soup, a type of soup, not soup in general, but. So it's interesting that they maybe did it out of a desire to differentiate from their Chinese neighbors. I don't know a lot of history of linguistics, but I do have sort of a fascination with linguistics, and I mean it's just another facet of language that makes it so interesting. That's impossible. Why would I do that? But yeah, linguistics is just so fascinating to me because it's like so many different cultures and different, settlements of people decided to explain and like to vocalize and communicate in different ways, and it's to the point where it has, like a DNA imprint on their like vocal development. Like you have to develop certain sounds to speak certain languages, and yeah, that's it's amazing how far people will go just to feel like they're the big fun, uh, you know, the big fun winner. Um, and honestly, it just goes to show that the bigger you try to seem, the smaller you actually are. I mean, imagine ruining an entire language just to, feel superior. And then passing on that sort of elitist cultural architecture so that people would continue to sort of propagate that elitism. Huh. I never really thought of that. Yeah. Having, yeah, because most languages would either have, like, most languages will have a word for meat, right? And then you just add that to whatever animal. Like, and to the point that you could even, English even has more than one word for some animals, right? Like, depending on where you cut the meat from, the grading of it, that kind of thing. It's it's an incredibly pedantic uh, construction of language. It's actually really, I haven't been talking about the game too much, but we are like actually getting really close to one of these corners. Um, is that why? It's because like the farmer would call it cow, but like the nobles would call it beef, kind of thing? Huh. incredibly arbitrary distinction. You know, like, well, you raise the cows, so you can't call them beefs. It certainly seems like it. So that kind of word just supports that same kind of structure of systematically categorizing and devaluing people. So it's certainly quite pedantic and petty is probably a good way to put it. See, yeah, so we've got this corner here, which we can't do anything about right this moment, but as we work over here, we might be able to find it. Though this is a flat wall, so we have, okay, so I think with 3 and 2, I know that I need 2 of these, but it can't be the middle one, because otherwise, if it was the middle one, it would turn one of these into a 3. So you're definitely a 2, you're 2, you're 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. Okay, so one of these 3, but also one of these 2, so not this one. Oh, that's so terrifying. I know what I'm doing, but it's still terrifying. Okay, so what this actually tells us is that this is not a mine. So we've actually managed to successfully reach a corner, which in and of itself I think is an accomplishment. So I think we've reached a point that I'm happy with the progress we've made, because I don't think we're going to reach the halfway point on mines anytime soon. I'm just going to very carefully. No, we're still not there. But what this does mean is we can, at least to some extent, work our way down the walls. And, well, and maybe not. That kind of stuck us there. I know one of these, 2 of these. 2 of these, 1 of these. So that means this is a mine, right? That doesn't help the whole time either, though. 2 of those and 1 of those. Definitely that one. Oh. It did something I didn't expect it to do for a second, and I panicked. Let's do something over here. Bottom left of some 3s. Oh, okay. I was trying to just move in this direction, so I wasn't really focusing on anything else just yet. I feel that perhaps there could be a better software for this whole avatar thing, but I'm afraid I don't know enough about it to go into a whole lot of detail. I've heard people really like Live 2D. That would involve more two-dimensional rendering, though, so I'm not sure I'm not entirely positive how to get to there from here. But yes, I've noticed that the live 2D can be a lot more reactive, especially with all the, you can program in the expressions and everything. It may just be the same old issue of 3D rendering just really isn't there yet. And like it's got this sort of uncanny, not uncanny valley entirely, but like some sort of like anime uncanny valley, where you can recognize it as an anime, but because it's 3D, it's got these bits to it that sort of seem wrong. Like for like characters that are non-humanoid, I think it can be a cool avenue to go down, like robotic, and I know there's one VTuber who is a moth, and she has a powerful form under the light of the moon, or something along those lines. But there are also, I guess there are benefits to both. I don't know, I look at the more popular, like the Hololives and all that, and I sort of envy their appearances. The next song is also explicit. Can I skip it at all? Nope. Okay. Just have to wait until it comes up. Well, thank you. I tried quite a lot to try and get this to where it is. There's still more that needs to be done, but okay, here we go. We can just skip this one. And now we're into Waiting at the Gate. If anyone's interested in any of the music from this stream, it's all from the Just Chilling playlist on Soundtrack by Twitch. So you can check it out there. It's been playing in default order, aside from the couple that I've skipped that are explicit. But yeah, if you want to check them out, then feel free to do so. I think the big thing I don't like about I think it might be more the software than the model, is that there's no as far as I found, there's no in-depth like lighting or shading settings. So I literally just have sort of the default textures bouncing around, and also the hair bones don't collide properly with the body. So there's a lot of, you can see it right now, the hair is just going right through the shoulder there, which which I don't like one bit. Yeah, no, sometimes you can't, yeah, so in 3D modeling, generally anything that has physical um, solidity has what are called bones. And so bones are used in, yeah, so like technically a 3D model has bones in its hair, and technically also the clothes have bones too. Um, well, sometimes it depends on how the model is created, but sometimes the clothes also have bones, which is an odd thing to think about, but it is entirely true. So remember to be nice to your skeleton, lest ye lose your bones. That's today's wisdom. And no charge for wisdom. Just remember to be careful out there, because you gotta have bones. Bones are important. Yeah, I mean most bodies have bones. Invertebrates don't have a skeleton, but they kind of also still have bones. Like, exoskeletons are not bones, but they're also not bones. You know? Like it's, I believe it's still a calcium-based frame that keeps your body from collapsing. Just from the outside instead of the inside. So I could be wrong. I'm not sure if all exoskeletons are made of calcium. I know the general, one of the terms used to describe the plating of an exoskeleton is chitin, but I don't know what chitin is exactly made of. Disclaimer, I am not a zoologist, nor an entomologist, nor a marine life researcher. I'm just a forgotten cosmic being that wants to spread the love. Huh. Interesting. I must say I do have a fascination with chitinous little critters. Oh, so it's more like a fingernail than a bone. Or hair, because those are both made of keratin, right? That's interesting. I've sort of given up on this side over here. Just sort of plugging away over here a little bit. Really? Is that what gives it its tensile strength? That's interesting, because if hair is also comprised of keratin, then why doesn't hair have the same... I guess it must be the material structure, like the crystalline structure. Yeah, something along those lines. Something relating to the crystalline structure of hair versus chitin versus spider silk. Because I'm pretty sure chitin is also stronger than fingernails. Don't ask why fingernails evolved, because they seem like they mostly just get in the way. Like, yeah, you can pry stuff with them, but then you risk them just breaking right off. They don't seep nearly as far into the phalanges as you might think they would. Yeah, we're running into that thing I mentioned before about the walls being a blessing and a curse, where you can't work around in a roundabout way because you can't go any further down than that. So you only have one direction where you can work on the wall from. I wonder if that's an 8. It could be an 8. What if we discovered an 8 on this stream? How lucky would we be if we discovered an 8 on this stream? Like live on a stream. On twitch.tv.starcrossheart.gov. But why flimsier? Just from like lack of use? We have a potential 8 in here somewhere, and that would be super cool. It's potential, but it's definitely, the potential is there. You know, like, and I don't want to heck it up. I want to work around it, work to it somewhere here, but it has to be one of these, has to be one of these. Has to be both of these. All these 4s just being real rude. 2 of these, 2 of these. Okay, have a good day. Hope you enjoyed the stream. Scream. Has to be one of those 2. Also has to be one of those. Oh, always with the 4s. Continually always with the 4s. One of these 2 of those. This one for sure. Oh no. We'll never know. Unless we finish this board, we will never know if there's an 8 in there. There's 2 places that could possibly be an 8 in there. Well, I wonder if we're, nope, we're still not there yet. Let's do a little progress check real quick. I could say that that's maybe like a 5th of the... Maybe? What do you think? Would you say that's maybe 20%? I could see that being 20%. I think so. I think with my very poor spatial reasoning, alright, anyway, we've got some progress that can be made here. Yeah, it is. It's very difficult to just like very quickly measure the area of irregular shapes. two, 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 three. Two, 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 two. Two, 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 two. It's me against the Minesweeper board. Who knows who will come out victorious? There's still a chance for us to take it in a very, very long time. Only one of those three. Oh, it's gotta be this one. It must. Oh. Isn't that nice? One of those two. What else? One of those two. Two of those five. Oof. One of those three. One of those five. And one of these three. Not quite line up. One of these two. One of these things. Not that one. So close. Unfortunate. Oh yeah. I was kind of trying to work down here, but yeah, I guess we're we'll have to take anything we can get at this point. We're starting to plateau on available resources. One of these. One of these. Looks like we've gone through all of the explicit songs on the playlist, so that's good. This playlist is 5 hours and 6 minutes long, I believe it said. So I don't believe we'll get all the way through it. At least not today. Oh my. Oh my. Just a bit of fatigue. And I'm all out of water. Oh my. It's starting to hit me, that midday fatigue. One of these, two of those. This one. This could potentially be an 8, but I don't believe it would be so. Yeah, no, it's at most a 7, because we got that there. We'll have to look once the game inevitably ends at this area here and see if it really was an 8. If it is, we might just, I might just undo it to get the screenshot for posterity. Below the 5 on this 5? Or right? This one here? Or like all the way over? This 5? This 5? This 5? Below this 2? This 2 here? True. There's a 2 here. Now there's more 2s. More 2s. If we could get this whole corner area all marked out and just get out of here, that would be fantastic. And then I immediately just start running off in another direction, you know, as you do. So you can take a conversation in another direction, both conceptually and literally, because you can literally just move while talking, and that is taking the conversation in another direction. And I think that's beautiful. We're stuck on a wall of 3s, but not the good kind of 3s, the bad kind of 3s. It's true, but also it has been a while, and I am getting impatient. So that is a very good reminder. Thank you. This wall of 3s, this is the 3s we want. We can break into the museum and steal the Declaration of Independence. I guess this one just is. if there's any Nicolas Cage movies where he doesn't scream at the top of his lungs. At least once. I'll be honest, I'm very excited to see if we can actually clear out this little corner here, because that'd be great. That'd be fantastic. Wonderful in all of the positive words. Two of these and one of those, definitely. And, oh, no, great. This one could be one of those two, this one also. This one's one of these, this one's one of these, so that means that's this one's one of those six, yeah, six. One of those, and also one of those, also one of those, also one of those. Two of those. This one. Pardon me. This three? Oh yeah, this three. Two. One. Oh, that's a present right there. This song feels nostalgic. It has that feeling of drifting through the starlight. expecting to have received a message of some form. Ah, it's nothing. All of these ones. Yeah, it's been quite a while sitting here playing Minesweeper. It's almost mesmerizing. It is true, though, that the rounder numbers have more impact than, like if you would have said 439, it probably wouldn't have had as much of an impact. Someone seems to have disturbed the cat litter because the scent is wafting towards me. It is not pleasant. Let's see. Mind check. Yeah, we're still at first half. We are still in it. In the soup. Soup of our discontent. Three, four, five. 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1. certainly making upward progress, but we need to get rid of this at some point. Oh, I almost made a mistake there. It would have cost us the stream, because this will be the last game of the stream because we've made it this far. Unfortunately, this vessel requires sustenance soon. Because it's in the browser, it won't be able to save it, as far as I know. It will literally just restart after I close and reopen the browser. Yeah, as far as I know, there's no, like, there's no seed or anything that you can use to continue a existing game on this version. This is just minesweeperonline.net, I believe. This might let us get rid of this last little area here now that we've established a foothold. We could be pro Minesweeper gamers. Show me progress. Progress, not egress. Could be a little bit trapped here. 2 of these and 1 of these. Not this one and these 2. No. Wait a moment. And these 2. That's yeah, we need 1 of these 3, 1 of these 3. 2, okay, 1 of these 2, and 2 of these 3, so definitely this one. And 1 of these 2 for sure. Oh, my tailbone. Oh dear. It's kind of hard to find the optimal position for sitting in this chair. It's a bit odd. Oh wait, I can do that. And that. And that as well, actually. This. And this. this. It's only one of those two. It's that one. Oh, yeah. One of those, one of those, one of those, so not that one. One, two, three, four, right? Oh, this is so close, I can taste it. I'm salivating. There's nothing quite like a good puzzle to whet the appetite. Oh, that. I think we can say with a fair amount of confidence that this is a little further than we made it in that other attempt. And that's the corner. We've done it. That's it. See? Look at how much progress we've made. Look at how much we can do when we work together. Be still, my heart. Thing is, I think even with practice, it doesn't get all that much faster, so any stream where we do this is going to be quite long. Oh, yeah, that's open now. So, we return back to here for a moment. Gather up some easy solutions and sort of auto-brain it for a little bit to get a little bit of a break while still playing the game, still making progress. Before we do that was close. This is certainly the best I've done to date. Oh, one moment. I think some of that dust got up in my nose and caused me a little sneeze. Oh no. Oh well. That's where we're gonna have to leave it for today. Just going to grab the snipping tool and make a little snip. Did not reach the goal of halfway. But we got pretty close, if I may be honest. I mean, that is definitely approaching a third of the map. If I could make a hazard a guess. So I think that's wonderful, fantastic. I'm so glad that all of you decided to stay here with me, spend some time sweeping some mines, and let's find someone to raid. Let us, don't mind all the tabs. Who is live right now? Katie is live.
Hardest part is holding on to something good.
Quick math. 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 Thank you. Thank you. You know, like in video games, you have different combinations. So, I got it. Thank you for subscribing and cheese eating with me. Mo's 69.
Maybe I'll be able to do another stream throughout the week, but for the most part, I think it's going to just be.
So I'm going to try and combine an effect here,
or Sunday,
just to make it feel variety and different.
Probably somewhere around the same
I'm gonna show you every button I'm pushing
1400 PST.
to create these effects. Some of them
And I will see you
last
all
longer than the others. Okay, here we go. Here we go.
then. I hope to see you. And until then,